Wrestling on weed.
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 Wrestling on weed. Subscribe today. Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem.
It's time for the Blunt Ratings. If this is your first time tuning in, this is how the Blunt Ratings work. We take each show and break them down into 5 categories: matches, promos and backstage segments, storytelling, commentary, and the crowd. For each category, each show can get up to 5 blunts. The average score of those 5 categories stands as the official Blunt Rating. Those are the rules. Now let's get right into tonight's edition of the Blunt Ratings.
We want the smoke.
It's on tour.
We want the smoke.
Uh-huh.
We want the smoke.
Come on.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Mr. HD, back with another episode of the Blunt Ratings for AEW Dynamite, the 3-year anniversary edition of the show. We're going to run through everything that happened real quick. And obviously, we're going to talk about all the drama that happened backstage. I got about 30, 40 minutes here with you guys, so lock in with me. What's going on, James? Thanks for stopping through, man. Appreciate you hanging out with us. So let's talk about this show real quick, guys. We had a decently entertaining show of Dynamite for the 3-year anniversary. I guess it could have been. I think a lot of it was just marred and overshadowed by everything that was going on backstage. More AEW backstage drama. But let's talk about the show first before we get into that. The show started off with Wheeler Yuta versus MJF. Pretty good match, man. It was like this whole roll-up fest that happened during the first part of the match. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome" for it. And I was like, it's just roll-ups and it's so contrived. I don't really like those spots, honestly. I'm not a big fan of those spots. But the crowd seemed to be into it. They were in my hometown, DC. I didn't go to the show because I have a whole bunch of stuff going on. I had to work. So, they were here in DC, and the crowd was, showing them both love. But obviously, MJF is super over, so the crowd was cheering for him, you know what I mean? And, cheering for showing Yuta love at the same time. Yuta got a good amount of offense in as well. Surprisingly, MJF didn't have to cheat to win. He ended up locking him in the Salt of the Earth armbar and getting Yuta to tap out really in a pretty decent match. And after the match, Yuta's, I guess, a part of Ring of Honor still. So he tried to get MJF to shake his hand. And MJF begrudgingly almost shook his hand. It was weird because he was like, "I don't want to do it. This ain't me, but I'm going to go ahead and do it." But before he could do anything, that's when... who came out? Lee Moriarty came out and blindsided him from behind. And then Stokely Hathaway came out and bullied MJF into taking the Dynamite diamond ring and told him to punch Willa Yuta, knock him out. And then, that's when, William Regal walked down and kind of made the save. I guess he just got MJF to walk out after squaring up with him or whatever. So, it's interesting. I don't know what was going on here. MJF was yelling at Lee Moriarty, like, "I didn't tell you to do this. I didn't tell you to do this." It was like, is he turning babyface for real? It's weird. You know what I mean? It's weird. James, I agree. The backstage drama is more entertaining than the actual show right now, or it's definitely getting more headlines than the actual shows, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. After that, Darby Allin and Jay Lethal had a pretty good match, and then they just kind of repeated the same shit, which is just weird to do this the same thing back to back to end the match. The match was the match. Darby Allin was moving really fast. Jay Lethal's a really good wrestler. It was what it was. But Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt try to cause a distraction, but it didn't work or whatever. Fucking Darby ended up reversing the cradle and putting that with the Last Supper pin on Jay Lethal to get the finisher. And that's when Sanjay and Satnam came down and was like, "Yo, let's jump him, let's beat him up." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't need y'all help." Blah blah blah. End up losing the match or whatever. But Darby they did the whole handshake thing again. It was like, wait a minute, we just saw this in the last match. Why are you? Because Darby tried to make Jay Lethal shake his hand. He's telling him he don't need those other guys, and then it was weird because Jay Lethal begrudgingly shook his hands, then walked off with his friends anyway. Like I was like, this is weird. They just did the same handshake gimmick to literally back-to-back matches. But all right, I guess I'm watching Ring of Honor, so cool. Then we had the TNT Open Challenge, which is weird because we already knew who was in the match ahead of time. So this was pretty fun though. Wardlow and the Machine, Brian Cage. Haven't seen Brian Cage in a long time. You know what I mean? Haven't seen the guy in a long time. We've advocated here on the channel that he needs to do more work. He needs to be getting more work. Obviously, him and his wife have complained online about him not, getting the work he deserves. But Wardlow was tossing them all over the place. I think Wardlow did a fucking Hernan Karana at one point, or maybe it was Brian Cage, and then there was somebody. It was a bunch of big men doing crazy flipty moves. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But we know both of these dudes are super talented and super athletic. But Wardlow did end up winning with a powerbomb symphony. It looked like he was going to end it with just one powerbomb, but ended up doing 4. The match didn't go that long. I wish it would have went longer to make Brian Cage look a little stronger. But he got a chance to show off his athleticism and remind people of his talents and why he should be on TV a little bit more. Even though probably should have had more time, but it was a jam-packed show. They had a lot going on the show. So it was what it was. After that, the Gates of Agony came down, and it's another Ring of Honor group. One guy I recognize, I've been, following since he was in the Sons of Anarchy in Ring of Honor. I've been following those guys, and I didn't know they were even on AEW. I don't know if I had seen them before on AEW, but I was like, all right, that's cool. But now they're in a group called the Embassy. It's like another collective. I mean, there's like 75 just random groups in AEW at this point. They got to get as many people as possible on TV, and the best way to do that is just make a bunch of fucking crews, and it's just like, it's whatever. But, they came out and they faced off, and they jumped them guys 4-2 because Joe came down, and Joe was trying to help out Wardlow. But, to no avail because it was 4 of them and only 2 of them. And then that's when FTR came down to a massive pop. The crowd still loves FTR, even though Tony Khan doesn't. And they kind of faced off with the Gates of Agony, and that was that. You know what I mean? I guess FTR is going to be putting the Ring of Honor tag titles on against the Gates of Agony, and I don't care. I just don't care, and it's not FTR's fault. Like, I just don't care. I don't care about nothing but seeing them go. I don't even care if they lose the title match, but they should at least be facing, you know what I mean, who are the Acclaimed at this point for the AEW Tag Team Championships. It's just, at this point, it's like they're trolling us. Tony Khan is trolling us and trolling them by putting them in this random match against, some guys that not many people know of. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just like giving them something to do, but it's not really anything important. You know what I mean? What's up, KGM? We're finally going to get an FTR match. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if it's going to, you know what I mean? Do you care about the match, though? I mean, it's going to be good because FTR is one of the best tag teams on planet Earth, but it's still like, I don't care about the other team in the match. There's no story. It's just, I guess they're about to start building to a story. I don't know, man. I don't know. James said, we can hate WWE, but they had a boss who actually acted like a boss, while Tony Khan's just a fan of his workers. It's cool at first to see him fan of them, but at the end, company needs, I mean, it's just, I mean, that's logical. Like, you can't be you could be your worker's friend, but only if they respect you as the boss. And just the way Tony Khan does business, you can't really respect him as the boss. Like, Nobody does. Look how Andrade and Sammy are behaving. Like, they really don't. They have no respect for him. Like, after everything that he dealt with, you know what I mean? Coming off of the all-out shit, and for them to just do this, like, feels like a meet. Right as the shit's calming down, they like, nah, drama, more of it. Give us more. So it's, you know, and that's because there's no respect for the head figure. You know what I mean? He gonna have to start firing people. Like, but he don't want to do that because he know that there's another company that's just gonna scoop him up and probably make them look better and allow them to talk shit about, you know, it's just like, you know, sometimes you gotta bite the bullet. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So yeah, after that, Britt Baker said that Saraya, whatever you want to call her, she's not going to be wrestling. She talks to some doctors and she found out that Saraya isn't wrestling, but obviously Britt Baker is lying at this point. Why would she be the one to announce that? That would be weird. Then we had a trios match. We had AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm teaming up with Athena and Willow Nightingale, and Saraya came out with those ladies, and then they were going up against Jamie Hayter, Penelope Ford, and Serena Deeb. And this match was actually pretty fun, man. I ain't gonna hate on the ladies. They actually did a good job in this match. I think Willow Nightingale was kind of the lead as far as who they were trying to get over in this match because she got the hot tag and kind of ran wild and knocked everybody out. She was the biggest person in the match, so she kind of stood out and put in a good performance. I really like Penelope Ford. I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, she's, you know, gorgeous, but then she has like the dark eye makeup. She's like fine as hell, but kind of sinister, kind of like Scarlet, but a little more punk rock. I can't even describe it, but, you know, I really like Penelope Ford and her character, and Serena Deeb's one of my favorite wrestlers right now, man or woman. You know what I mean? Serena Deeb's one of my favorites. So, yeah, I ain't gonna go through the whole match, but it was a good match. The baby faces did end up winning, right? The baby faces ended up winning the match. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the finish, and I didn't write it down. But I'm pretty because Willow Nightingale hit Penelope with the power bomb or something like that, with some kind of suplex or something, and she got the pin. I do remember that. So So after that, Britt Baker jumped in the ring and got in Saraya's face and was talking shit to her. Like, I was like, all right, so what's gonna happen here? And then something happened because they just start slugging it out, and then all the ladies start brawling, and they had to be pulled apart. And Saraya said, "This is my ring now," again, and it was weird. You just got there. You can't just come in and just be like, "This is my house." Like, it's not, though. It's like Tony kind of has no control. He got wrestlers coming in saying it's their. I'm joking, but Saraya's kind of annoying. I ain't gonna lie. Like, her gimmick's kind of annoying. I'm starting to notice it. I just need to see her wrestle. Like, if she's wrestling and winning some matches, then she can say, "This is my house." But until then, you sound crazy. I'm just gonna put that out there. You sound crazy. But Tony definitely added that it looked like she's in good in-ring shape, so I think she's gonna be wrestling, obviously, at some point soon. Hopefully she's been cleared and everything's on the up and up with that. We don't need no Tua Tagovailoa situation where they sending somebody out there before they supposed to be out there. That was an ugly, ugly situation. But yeah, after that, we had a celebration right here in DC of National. It's getting demonetized. If I was demonetized, I would probably get. If I was monetized on the channel already, I'd probably be getting demonetized by doing this. It was National Scissoring Day, everybody, right here in Washington, D.C. The crowd was up for it. And this was just sports entertainment. You know what I mean? It was sports entertainment shit. It was something that you definitely would have saw in WWE. The Acclaim came out to celebrate National Scissoring Day and had a podium, and apparently the mayor, which didn't have, I can't imagine that actually, Mayor Bowser actually doing this, but you know what I mean? Apparently they got not the key to the city, but the scissors to the city. They were given some giant scissors and, out there cracking a bunch of jokes about scissoring and all that. Anthony Bowens is super funny. They start making some political fucking metaphors that I was just like, okay, what are we? All right, it's not that funny, but I get what you're trying to do. It's cool. I'll play along. But it was National Scissoring Day. Billy Gunn, they did the the first ever bipartisan scissoring Sounds so hilarious just to say that. Sounds fucking ridiculous actually to say it, but that's what happened. The crowd was obviously hella into this shit. You know what I mean? Like DC's weird sometimes. I didn't know all. I thought DC might be too cool, but DC was not too cool last night. DC was all the smarks were in the bill. All the people who read all the blogs, they were all there last night. And you ask Sammy Guevara, they was in the building last night. But yeah, Swerve came out towards the end of the celebration, and right when they were right during the culmination of the whole celebration, and he was like, rock beats scissors all the time. I think he did that joke already, but hey, let's do it again. I guess it's a good joke because their gimmick is scissors. Never mind. And he basically challenged because Billy Gunn was the reason that they say he caused a little interference in the match. You know what I mean? So Swerve's like, yeah, man, if it wasn't for him, we still had a tag team championships. So I want a match against Billy Gunn on Rampage. And I was like, damn, that's crazy because nobody watches that show. So nobody's going to see it. But hey, he wants the match. So cool. It's going to happen on Rampage. Swerve Strickland versus Billy Gunn. I mean, daddy ass. You know what I mean? I don't know why they don't put that match on Dynamite. You know what I mean? It felt like that match should have been on Dynamite. Mark Sterling walked out and started saying that, I told y'all Swerve was a bad guy and let me manage you guys, the Acclaim. I'm like, but they have a man. That's what are you doing? And he just went out there so he could, get beat up and take the top rope scissoring. I actually like that move. Anthony Bowen's doing a leg drop from the top, you know what I mean? In between somebody, he scissors him from the top rope. It's actually a pretty funny move. But yeah, that segment was pretty good. Probably the most entertaining thing of the night on the show, for real. After that, Tony Schiavone was backstage with Madison Rayne and Sky Blue. They were just talking they shit, and then Anna Jay and Tay Mello came up and challenged, challenged Madison and Madison and Sky to a match on Rampage. That's crazy because nobody's gonna watch it. So, they keep challenging each other to this show on this show that nobody watches. Does it even happen if no one sees it? I'm curious. You know what I mean? I was like, tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear the tree fall. I don't think it did. You know what I mean? So is Rampage even a thing? Or is somebody just playing a joke? I feel like I'm being trolled. Oh man, yeah, Sky who? That's why I was like, I don't even know who this person is. I mean, I know who she is, but seriously, it's like who? You know what I mean? Who are these people? You know what I mean? Off of Dark and Elevation? What do you? Let's focus on the talent that where's Miro? Damn it, where's Miro? Why is she getting time on TV? Where the fuck is Miro? Where's Lance Archer? Give these people matches. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it, Tony. He just officially signed Bandito. I want to smack the shit out of Tony Khan. I don't even want to go on this rant again. Honestly, I really don't want to go on this rant again because at this point, it's just like overblown. AEW is ran by a petulant child who has no control of his company and just lets his employees bully him all the fucking time. And he's such a fan that he doesn't like telling anybody bad news. And he's just going to sign everybody because he's like all the wrestlers are like action figures. And he just wants to collect as many wrestlers as he can because he can afford it. And it's just like he doesn't realize because he's a fucking child why everybody's upset and why Malachi Black wanted to leave and why Miro's not happy and why Andrade's clearly trying to get himself fired and all these different things. You don't know why these things are happening. He can't tell. He thinks it's like just because everybody's an asshole. Like, you promised all these people a different version of a wrestling company to only become the exact wrestling company that they left in the first place. And you don't know why they mad? You don't understand why anybody's mad? It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know. It's too many wrestlers, which is a good thing because we always have talented people that can entertain us through the sport that we love, but there needs to be like 3 or 4 companies. It needs to be like, at this point, it needs to be a league with like rosters, like football teams. Like you get 50-something, you get 55 players, you get 55 players. They need to have teams and leagues. Yeah, I mean, it's like at this point, it needs to be like WWE. I mean, they're already broken down into brands, but I mean, I don't know. That's too much. Like, I don't know if there's enough TV time because who's watching 20 hours of wrestling shows every week? And that's the thing. Like, if more shows pop up on TV, are people gonna watch them? Like, it's already too many shows to fucking watch. What days they go on? Is wrestling on TV every fucking day already? So it's like, it's kind of a profession where, as far as the mainstream, there's only room for so many people. Like, at the end of the day, like, as far as known wrestlers who are going to be globally celebrated and loved, especially coming from the main two promotions in the States, it's only so many spots. And Tony Khan doesn't realize that, so he's just going to keep playing video games with his real life people. So it's real weird. But yeah, I be trying not to go off on that tangent, but it's just such an obvious, glaring problem with the company, and it just keeps getting worse. He's like... It's like he doesn't watch the blogs, clearly, because everybody's been complaining about this shit. You know what I mean? So I've been complaining about it for months at this point, and now everybody else is pointing the shit out too, like the roster's too bloated, and it's a problem. But hey, keep doing what you do, Tony Khan. Triple H is smiling. That's not for me. So after that, yeah, we had Hangman going up against Roosh. Who basically cursed out Private Party earlier, and I told them they better not fuck up again. They ain't been on their game. They under contract with Andrade, and they better get their shit together tonight. And yeah, whatever. They're clearly about to go back to Matt Hardy, which I don't want to see personally. So it's just like I'm not interested in any of this. No offense to any of the guys, but. This is a good match, man. You know what I mean? It's a good match. It was what it was. Jose kept trying to interfere. Jose, Bruce's manager, whatever, and he grabbed Hangman's ankle at one point, and then Roosh hit a power driver on him and got a near fall, but didn't work. Hangman, battled back and hit the buckshot lariat to get the win, and then Private Party walked down to the ring, and they confronted Hangman, and that's when John Moxley came down, and Private Party just kind of bailed. You know what I mean? That was it. Kind of just ran off. And Moxley was like, I've been waiting for this for 3 years. 3 years of AEW Dynamite, 3 years of watching you, 3 years of studying you, 3 years of us circling each other. Between the two of us, we've beaten just about everyone at AEW except each other. On October 18th, there will be one last man standing here in AEW. In 13 days, cowboy, I'm going to leave my house, show up at the arena, and I'm going to break your face and choke you until you turn blue because you're in the way of me being the one top guy in here in AEW and the world champion and the best in the world. I have all the respect for you and your abilities. I admire you as a person, but when the bell rings, I don't have any respect for anything. Another good promo about Moxley, man. What you want me to do? Moxley is great cutting promos. Then Hangman was like, been waiting for this for so long. You can fight right now. Like, we can just get it popping, my guy. You know what I mean? And Mox's like, you're a sweet kid. Your mouth is going to get you in trouble. This your final warning. Watch your damn mouth. Yeah, so it was interesting, man. It was what it was. You know what I mean? Then Willow got more TV time. Where's Miro? Never mind. She said at Battle of the Belts, I want to challenge for the TBS championship. So that's what Jade walked up like, bitch. Biatch, are you stupid? So, yeah, Willow versus Jade Cargill. I actually do want to see that match. It's the match I do want to see because I don't. How long are they going to keep the title on Jade? She needs the other belt. She needs to be the women's world. She needs to be on Dynamite, not fucking Rampage every week. You know what I mean? Because I'm not even sure, again, if that show happens. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a figment of my imagination. So after that, we had Christian Cage. I said Christian Cage. We had Luchasaurus going up against Fuego del Sol. And he just beat the shit out of him. And then he was going to beat him up some more. But that's when Jungle Boy came out and chased him off after the match. That was what it was. It was what it was. But Christian was there, and Christian was like, I told you not to come back here this week, Jungle Boy. This time next week live on Dynamite. It's at my place in my hometown. You know what I mean? You know, so I guess Christian is back and they're gonna do something. So hey, everybody loves Christian, right? I know I do. Big fan. So after that, we had the main event of the night. The Ring of Honor Pure Champion Daniel Garcia teaming up with the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And they were going up against the Ocho, Chris Jericho, and the Heat Magnet, Mr. Heat himself, Mr. Nobody Likes Me, Mr. Everybody Hates Sammy. Sammy Guevara, man. You know what I mean? Sammy's like, it's not a very likable guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna tell a little story. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell a little story because y'all didn't see this video. You know what I mean? But as you know, Sammy is on the intro to the wrestling or to the blunt ratings. He's there right in the clip. You know what I mean? Shouting us out. Big love to Sammy Guevara for the shout out. You know what I mean? But when I sent them the little script, like, yo, Sammy, man, what's up, man? Let me get this shout out, bro. You know what I mean? Do a little drop for the show. You know what I mean? This motherfucker decided to give me a whole speech about how he was straight edge and how he doesn't smoke or drink. And he doesn't even know why I'm asking him specifically to do it. But you know, he'll do it for my little wrestling podcast anyway, because I asked. So, I mean, I used the clip, but, you know, I mean, it's kind of dickish. I don't care if you're straight edge. I'm not asking you to smoke weed. You could just say no if you don't want to do it. And you still did it, so why'd you give me the fucking speech? I don't get it. I don't care. Like, I wouldn't take a drop from CM Punk because he's straight edge and don't smoke weed, motherfucker. I don't care. That's not what. The fuck. But shout out to Sammy Guevara for doing the drop. But I just had to tell that story because y'all only saw the edited version of the drop. You know what I mean? He actually part of the video. I'm like, nigga, I don't care. You know what I mean? I mean, so now when you see Sammy Guevara in the intro, you can laugh knowing that it was like a whole nother 30, 45 seconds of him telling me why he shouldn't send me the drop. Then sending me the drop. This little fucking kid, man. Shut the fuck up. I wanted to smack the shit out this little I wanted to smack the shit out this little kid, man. I was like, you know what? It's cool, man. He did the drop. I'm going to just edit it. We be straight. I ain't tripping. Well, yeah, it was kind of dickish, man. It was kind of dickish, but yeah, it was what it was. What's up, Gruss? I see you sneaking here, Gruss. What's cracking, man? Gruss said, hey, Lalo, AEW is the modern Jim Crockett promotions, a ton of talent, overspending and expanded too fast. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. It's a good comparison. I mean, Jim Crockett ran his bit. He knew pro wrestling a little bit more than Tony Khan. I mean, his, Crockett Promotions, his father was around for a long time. I think, Tony Khan comes from a football background. But I get the comparison. Remember, Tony Khan is the male version of Dixie Carter. Now, that's a good comparison. Now, that seems like someone who's a fan, and they have a lot of money, and they like wrestling. So they started a wrestling promotion. That's kind of Dixie Carter. Yeah, I mean, she was never she learned to be a decent boss at a certain point, but clearly she wasn't equipped to do it for the long haul, even with trying to bring in a bunch of help and eventually selling the company to wrestlers. It's just none of it ever worked. They should have built up Nightingale better before she faces Jade. I mean, they've been pushing her they've been trying to push her. I think last night was like the culmination. That's why she kind of shined during the 3-on-3 match. But, I think they've been pushing her okay the last few weeks. She's got the fans behind her. Like, she got the goofy super babyface Bailey gimmick. You know what I mean? So it's like, the fans are behind her. The kids like her. She's bubbly. I'm not mad at it. It's a good contrast to Jade, like as far as the gimmicks and the personalities and, wrestling style. So I don't hate it, but I get what you're saying. Jade should just vacate the TBS title and stay. I agree. That's exactly what she should pull an Oscar. That's exactly, I already said that. I think I said that a couple weeks ago. She shouldn't lose because she's clearly she should be the number one contender for the AEW Women's Championship. So she shouldn't lose and blemish her record. She should keep the undefeated record and be going after the AEW Women's Championship. And I wouldn't even care if somehow through shenanigans she lost her first try at the Women's Championship, as long as she ended up getting it, soon thereafter. You know what I mean? If they wanted to give her that first loss to just get rid of the whole, because it's hard for somebody so dominant to just have their gimmick be I'm undefeated. Like, it's just going to take so long for you to be able to beat them logically in a match. So, might be a smart idea to have her lose her first shot at the AEW Women's Championship. And then, pick it up soon after that. But, this match was cool. The main event was cool, man. Speaking of the main event, the tag team champion, it was, these matches were standing. Like, it was one cool spot where Garcia and Danielson both had on, not dragon sleepers. It's like LaBelle, like whatever fucking submission they had on. And they had them both, Sammy and Chris Jericho, down on the ground. I was so focused on how the crowd was reacting to Sammy during the whole match. Like, anytime he did anything, the crowd was literally chanting at him, chanting all kind of crazy shit during the whole match. Sammy was doing all his moves, Spanish flies, blah, blah, blah. Crowd booing the shit out of him, like heat, super heat. But, at the end of the day, the Hills ended up getting the victory somehow, mainly because there was another distraction finish. When the fuck happened, he was like trying to check on one of the guys, making sure that he wasn't dead, because he took a big move. And while she was doing that, Aubrey was doing that, that's when Jericho grabbed the belt and smashed him, and got the 1, 2, 3 or whatever shortly after that. So another referee distraction, because the refs at AEW should never be paid, and they're fucking blubbering idiots. I feel like more matches in AEW end because of ref distractions, or the ref being distracted, than any other way. Definitely more than actual clean finishes. Yeah, it's 100% the easiest way to win the match is to distract the ref. It's the most common way that matches are won in AEW, which is kind of annoying at this point, because it just buries the referees. Why are they even there? Like, it's make every match a no DQ match. Fuck it. The refs are useless in AEW, honestly. And there's no shot at Aubrey. She's not fucking writing the shit, but how many times you gonna do this is kind of whack. But it was what it was. The show was not that memorable of a show, honestly. I think the biggest thing about all of it was Sammy getting the pin in the main event, which just trolled everybody and made everybody even more upset, because, as we can talk about it now, if you haven't heard, guys, there's more drama in AEW. There's more backstage fights happening. Sammy Guevara, Andrade said he was going to pull up. He pulled up. He reminds me of the old me. When motherfuckers would talk shit on Twitter and thought that it was sweet. They would just be like, nyang, 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 nyang. Like, all right, I'll see you at so-and-so. They'd be like, whatever, and then they get there, and then all of a sudden they just being punched, and they don't know what's happening. And they be like, wait a minute, I thought you were I told you I wasn't playing. What you... So it's like, I don't know what they thought, but the word is, and there's a bunch of conflicting stories, we'll talk about that, but the word is that, they both showed up there, exchanged some words. Obviously, Andrade probably called him a little girl again. And apparently, the initial rumor is that Sammy threw the first punch, which, Andrade's a big guy, so it's probably a smart move. Little guy, you got to get the first blow in, because if he come at you first, it's probably going to be a bad day. So it's, you got to get one off. So if that was the true story, I would have believed it. But then Andrade got sent home, and he had a match that was supposed to be filmed for Rampage. The whole mask versus career, stupid ass shit. I don't know, it was a dumb fucking gimmick anyway, or dumb fucking match idea anyway. But that shit got completely canceled, and they replaced it with, Dark Order versus Pac in the Trios Championship match that they filmed. So, so why'd Andrade get sent home, and Sammy Guevara get to be in the main event and get the pin and get his hand raised to end the show if Sammy threw the punch? That doesn't line up with what happened with the previous brawl backstage, which just happened like 3 weeks ago, mind you. where everybody got sent home and reprimanded, and most of those people were EVPs of the company, or it was like personnel, and it's CM Punk, like he's one of the biggest wrestlers in the world. You sent all them home. Why the fuck is Sammy Guevara still on TV? This isn't his first incident. Like, he got into it with Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston had to mush him in the face. Sammy's out probably bitching about that. He mushed me. Instead of just swinging back on him or mushing him back, or, you know what I mean, get his face like, don't you ever touch me again, motherfucker. I wish you one warning. You know what I mean? On some man shit. He probably's back there. He mushed me in the face. His hands smell like fried chicken. He mushed me in the face. It's like, what are you complaining? Why are you always in the shit, Sammy? Why are you always in the mix? I don't know why. He has a very unlikable personality. And I think that whole him getting married to Tay and his arrogance just going through the roof, and him making out with her on TV all the time, he just looks like a cornball. And you straight edge. Like, I mean, I ain't advocating for drinking and smoking your life away 100%, but like, you kind of a cornball, my guy. Like, let's call it what it is. Like, CM Punk is a cornball. Let's call it what it is. He's straight edge too. Like, it's all straight edge. And you don't need to be, like, drinking and doing drugs don't make you cool. Let me put that out there. When usually it makes you the opposite. Yeah, I mean, because some people can't handle it. Yeah, I mean, so usually drinking and drugging that makes you uncool. But, you know what I mean? Still doesn't make you cool to not do those things. It doesn't automatically make you cool to not do those things. You corny motherfucker when you high, you gonna be corny when you sober. It is what it is. And they both lames. Sammy is a super lame. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, I don't want to be too hard on the kid because he's young. He's gonna grow up, probably be like, damn, I was a douchebag. You know what I mean? Like, I may have had moments like that when I was young. Arrogant, you know what I mean? Know you look good, can get the ladies, you know what I mean? Probably comes off, probably rubs some people the wrong way because you know that you're dope. You know what I mean? It happens. It happens. But, you know, you get that go away heat, people don't want to hang out with you no more and all that shit. You got to do some self-reflection, my guy, and be like, wait a minute, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the common denominator in all this drama. Because that's what it seems like. It seems like Sammy's the problem. I ain't gonna lie. It seems like Sammy's the issue in all of this shit. And Tony got to do something. Like, he got to do something, man. He can't have that man getting his hand raised at the end of the show like he's a conquering hero after being in the middle of another fracas, which completely undermines the fact that you just tried to calm everything down from another fracas that just happened. Like, he clearly has no respect for you, my guy. Like, he don't. Like, why is he starting Twitter beefs? Like, if he felt some way about when Andrade said, call him a little girl in an interview, like, go to that man, and why you getting on Twitter? That's weird. That's weird, my guy. Like, he called you a little girl. You think if a dude say I'm a little, call you a little girl, and I work with him, I'm gonna go on Twitter? Like, bro, I'm about to see you. It's like, I ain't gotta tweet you. I'm about to see you. But instead, he started tweeting, and then Andrade was like, I'll see you. It's like, uh-oh. Shit. Uh-oh, that's why he came. He probably went in there and just started swinging. Yeah, man, this shit is fucking whack, man. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Sammy Guevara is corny. Tony Khan is a bitch. Like, they just... And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Tony Khan is a bitch. Like, it ain't no... This fucking guy. He ruined it. That was it. That was the moment it was all over. It was... Let me tell you the numbers, and the first $1 million gates, and this fucking guy. It's like, bro, you just ruined yourself. Like, you're a goof. It's like, you're a fucking goof. I don't care how much money you fucking got. You a goof. Tony Khan's a fucking goof, and he's running a clown show. And I wouldn't be surprised if people like Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley and Jericho and some of these people were like, you know what? Maybe not Jericho, because he be talking too much shit about WWE at this point, but some other people might be like, you know what, Triple H is in charge. It's some fucking high school bullshit over here. I'm out of here. some bullshit, man. Nobody want to be a part of fucking high school drama all day, and that's literally what it is. That's what happens though when everybody's friends backstage, and it's just so we're all buddy buddy. We all know each other from the indie scene, and blah blah blah. We complain about WWE bringing people in and training them for the performance center and teaching them the WWE way, but don't realize that shit provides structure and a way of life backstage, so people know what lines they can cross and how. Like, people will speak out every Mustafa Ali complains on the internet all the time, but he knows the line. You know what I mean? He knows the line. You know what I mean? They all know the line, and that's why you don't see people talking shit like that. Like, why you got people in AEW literally burying their own company. Like, MJF's gimmick is to bury AEW, which, you know what I mean? CM Punk did it for WWE, but it wasn't good. Like, it was good. CM Punk was good. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's not good for the company, ultimately, especially because he left. It's like, so he was telling the truth, is what you're saying? Like, I don't understand that. Like, when the gimmick is to, like, bury and point out all the flaws that are actually in the company, it's just a mess. Like, AEW is a mess right now. I don't care how many good wrestling matches or dream matches they could put on. I mean, it's a fucking mess. I could still watch the matches and be entertained by the wrestling, but it's hard to be invested in any storylines. There's literally, I can't think of one actual storyline on AEW that I'm invested in. Like, I cannot think of one. Like, with the main, what is Daniel Bryan? I mean, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia. Is that the best story in AEW? Is that the best they have to offer right now? Like, you know, the fucking kid being stuck in between the two parents. Yeah, I mean, he's like trying to be. That's the one story that, like, with Jon Moxley randomly challenging Hangman because they haven't fought yet. So, hey, we should fight. Like, there's no stories. There's no story. The women's division still trash. Paige ain't doing nothing to help it. You know what I mean? It's like, so I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. Y'all talking about in the chat, any wrestler that wore a panda head should never be trusted. Who wore panda head? Yeah, man, you know, I gotta go in on him, man. He on that weird shit, man. Sammy ruined any push Tay Mello was gonna get. I mean, she's still on TV. I don't know what push she was. I mean, yeah, maybe well, I don't know. They got her kind of in a tag team, but there's no tag team division in the women's side, and there shouldn't be. Please don't do that. I hope his fuckery doesn't affect her. You know what I mean? Like, even though she's part of his gimmick, like, I hope it doesn't. I think people were annoyed when they were having, you know, couples matches for the AAA whatever mixed tag team. Like, why is that shit on AEW? Why? I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just Tony Khan, man. I blame him for all this shit, honestly. I blame he's the leader, supposed to be. But he's not a good leader, man. Because at the end of the day, you got to be like, all right, I got enough people. We about to make a poppin' ass show of what we got. You know what I mean? But it's like he keeps bringing in random people. Like, yo, you want to have a random match with no story and no build? Oh, bet. Oh, man, that was a great match. Here's a 3-year deal. Like, what? Wait a minute. Why are you doing this? You just, what? Stop it. Just stop. Stop handing out money in contracts to everybody. Like, or just let some people go. It's like he holding people hostage. And that shit is whack. Like, Andrade, like, bitch, I'm only here for the schedule. Like, because they paying me to work 1 minute a night. Like, what am I supposed to not say no? You want me? I'm literally on TV for 30 seconds. I got to remember one line. And I get a fat ass check. What you want me to do? I'm taking the money too. You know what I mean? But obviously Andrade, he wants a little more creative. You know, he wants to be on TV and get the most out of his prime, which he's in right now. Oh yeah, he did used to wear the panda heads. I forgot all about that shit. That was goofy. God, he was a goofball. But yeah, man, the show is cool. The most entertaining shit about the show with me was the crowd, like, giving it to Sammy. That was the best part. The crowd was on 10 here in DC last night. Obviously 5 blunts because they were in my hometown. You know what I mean? So I'm not, 5 blunts for the crowd already. But overall, I didn't do blunt ratings for the show because I was busy, and that's why the show was late today. Pardon me, guys. But yeah, I would have gave the show like 3 blunts overall. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of that would have been for the main event match, which was some good wrestling. The MJF and Yuta shit, man, when they did that roll-up spot, that shit just kind of annoyed me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's just so contrived. And then they did the same spot. Hold on. They did the same spot in another match. Was it in the main event where they did the exact same roll-up spot where they just do a roll and a roll and roll? It's like, bro, they just did that. Do y'all not like clearly y'all don't be talking to each other or y'all don't know what's going on? I don't fucking know. I don't know what the fuck be going on. You know what I mean? So it was a little weird. KGM, they don't care about the Jacks. Save some of the AEW. I mean, Jaguars doing all right, man. Jaguars looking kind of nice this year. That crowd was whack. You think the crowd was whack last night? Really? Nah, man. The crowd last night was hot. You know what? Yeah, they was hot most of the night. Like it was they was National Scissoring Day. The crowd was lit. They was doing. You seen random people scissoring each other? That sounds so weird to say. It's so weird. That was so weird. They did it in the very next match, right? KGM, they did the roll-up spot twice. Yeah, because it was Darby and Jay Lethal. That's right. They did it in the so they did, wait a minute. Okay, that just blew my mind. Wait a minute. So they did the roll-up spot and the handshake spot in the same, in back-to-back in the same matches? They literally just had the same match twice in a row? Is that what I'm noticing right now? At this very moment? That they literally have the same match twice in a row and no one noticed? That's crazy. I just thought about that. They literally did that fucking, we're going to roll around on the mat for 3 minutes and do reverse roll-ups and then did the whole shake my hand shit at the end of it. Was literally the same fucking match. That's crazy. That just dawned on me. And they put them back to back. They don't care. They don't care. They clearly don't care. No one's communicating about anything. That's why, when you got everybody coming up with their own shit and nobody's saying what's going on, that's how shit happens. When you got a group of writers and you got Vince clearing everything, whoever's in charge, Triple H now clearing everything that the wrestlers are going to do when they get out there, you avoid shit like this. Something should be said for having a structured work environment, especially in a multi-million-dollar company. It's just something to be said for having that structure, man. Like you letting the inmates run the asylum, for lack of a better term, because I hate that term. They're not inmates, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's not a good look. They're going to have to communicate stuff like that because there's absolutely zero reason that they should be doing the exact same match, doing the exact same spots in matches back to back. You know what I mean? It's just a glaring thing. And it's just like, who's communicating with who? Is anybody talking to anybody? Is everybody hate everybody? Everybody just doing whatever the fuck they want? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. AEW's messy. AEW is in a messy situation. It looked like it was calming down for a minute, and then it just flared the fuck back up. You know what I mean? Just Andrade, Alistair wanted the smoke. He's like, I'm mentally broken. I got to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? I ain't doing shit with me. I'm mad. I want to go back to my homie Triple H and get my crypt back and my sound effects and my cool entrance. He got cool entrance now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, people try and bell, man. People try and fucking bell. You know what I mean? Nyla Rose about to take I'm sure she lost that match on Rampage to Jade, if Jade is fighting Willow Nightingale. It's a lot of people that aren't getting the shine they should. And at some point, there's going to be a mass exodus. You know what I mean? It's like, or you're just going to have a horrible ROI because you're paying all these people hundreds of thousands of dollars to be on a contract and they're not even working on a program that's making any money. So, I mean, you could think that that's smart. You could think that hoarding talent is smart, but we saw how that worked out for WWE. It took them bringing Nick in to be like, let me see these books. Wait a minute. So we're paying him what? And he's on TV for how long? You're all fired. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. He came in, looked at the numbers, like, yeah, we're not using. So what are we in prison? Are we holding them hostage? Because why are they here? So they're paid hostages. That's why it's a bad analogy. They're getting paid to be there, but still, it's like some people, want to express their arts. They want to wrestle. They want to be entertaining people. It's more than about just the money. So, and I respect that. So, we'll see. We'll see. KG 6-man tags were on SmackDown every week. Yeah, that's true. Who remembers when they kept doing 2 out of 3 falls matches for like a month? Oh my God, I remember that. Oh my, that was terrible. Why did they do Vince McMahon? He just had that was so weird. That was so weird. For like a month straight, they were doing just random 2 out of 3 falls like every show. That was so weird. I don't know why they started doing that. It was like a TV thing. I don't fucking know. It was really weird though. They are inmates doing their bid for their AEW contract. I mean, hey, you definitely look at it like that. But that's it, man. That's all I got for today. I'm sick of the Ring of Honor shit, like everybody else said. I mean, Ring of Honor invading AEW is just kind of making me hate Ring of Honor. It's not making me want to see Ring of Honor. It's kind of just annoying me to the point I want it to go away so I can actually watch AEW wrestlers. And I don't have to watch Ring, because like once they get their TV show, I'm probably not gonna watch it. So it's like you're telling all these stories and building these characters for something I'm not even gonna pay attention to when you actually do put it on TV. I'll watch the clips, but it's like it's too much wrestling on already. Like I love it to death. I love pro wrestling, but goddamn it, I got a life and businesses to run. So it's AEW and WWE for me. And AEW only got one show as far as I'm concerned. So hopefully we can stop seeing Ring of Honor titles on TV more than AEW titles, and same for the wrestlers. But technically everybody is AEW, but you get what I'm saying. But that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys locking in with me. How long did we do? Okay. Oh, we did long. See, I was only supposed to be here for 30, 40 minutes because I'm already late. I'm supposed to be somewhere at 3 o'clock, but it's all good because I'm rocking with you guys. Please like the video if you haven't already. Y'all know how the algorithm go, the YouTube lords. So like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have it. We have 485, I think. 485. We're 15 subs away from 500. So that's going to be a big deal for us. Our channel numbers have basically doubled in the last 5-6 weeks. So definitely appreciate you guys for all that love and support right here at Wild Nation, man. So roll up, go smoke a J if you partake. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. If you're at work, though, you know what I mean? I don't want you to get fired, so don't smoke no weed and blame me. You know what I mean? Try to sue me for telling you to get high at work. You know what I mean? Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't. Right now, put the weed down. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Deuces.